Notes on the fretboard. So music is a language, and just like in our speaking language, there is an alphabet. It goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then starts over again, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's another concept that I want to tell you about, and that is half steps and whole steps. Now, the guitar fingerboard is entirely arranged in half steps. So those two concepts can actually come together. So basically from the 2nd fret to the 3rd fret, that's a half step. From the 3rd fret to the 5th fret, though, that's a whole step. All right, now those spaces between the notes, such as between A, open, and B, 2nd fret, well, what is that note at the 1st fret? Well, that is an accidental, and it can basically be called two different things, either a sharp or a flat. Okay, sharp means 1 fret higher, and flat means 1 fret lower. So if the open string is A, then 1 fret higher than that would be A sharp. And then also, similarly to that, if you have B as a 2nd fret, 1 fret lower than that is B flat. So that note at the 1st fret actually has two different names, either A sharp or B flat. So the whole naming thing is interesting because a lot of times there are formulas in music that require a certain name for it to be called just A sharp, for instance, or just B flat. And you don't need to be too concerned with that for right now, but just know that that concept is definitely out there. So all of these notes, if you just play them up in sharps, they would be flats coming back. I'll play them up to the 12th fret using sharps and then play them back using flats, like this. Watch. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, and then A. And backwards, just using flats, A flat, G, G flat, F, E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, and A. All right, you should definitely know the names of the open strings. All right, it's extremely important. If for no other reason than if you break one, then you should be able to ask somebody what string to replace. Let's start and learn them from thickest to thinnest. So we'll start on the thickest string. This is E. The next string is A. Then you have D, and G, and then B, and E. All right. You can memorize this with a lot of different sayings, such as "Eat at Dave's, get better eggs." I've heard, Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie, or every angel does good before evil. There's a lot of different sayings that you can use to memorize the names of the strings. One other thing that I'll let you know about is that the strings actually have a number too. Okay, even though we're starting here on the thickest E string, that's actually 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the thinnest string is 1. So that's also very important. A lot of times throughout this course, we'll talk about a string number as well. Say play on the 2nd string or something like that. And also, let's wrap up the notes on the fretboard. So what we were talking about with whole steps and half steps and sharps and flats, even though we were looking at that just on the A string, that same concept goes on every single string. So if you start with E, you're just going to go through the musical alphabet the same way. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. Okay, you can find the natural notes simply just by all the notes have a whole step or 2 frets distance between them, except for a half step or 1 fret between E and F and B and C. Okay, and then between all of those are the accidentals.